is that it is actually a crime to know about a crime and not to report the crime. Yes,
I know that.
Thank you.
So please, you've given a lot of time. Allow me. I have two main things. First, to do the public education, and that's on principle. Doesn't relate to this particularly. If there's time, I'll relate it to it, and also to clarify some things that I said in the beginning. We are responsible for what we say, not for the interpretations people give to them. So let's stay on what we say. To that extent, the law is the law, whether you agree with it or not. In the first place, I heard the president say that given the seriousness of what Reverend Ntimfodjo has said, the security agencies should cooperate with him to investigate and get to the bottom of it. How did cooperate with him translate to arrest him? The two are very different. Now, if Reverend Ntimfodjo was being asked politely to come and help investigate the actual issue, which is a national issue, Reverend Ntimfodjo under 41 has an obligation, moral and even in law, to cooperate to investigate the issue. But if the security agencies misconstrued what the president said, cooperate to get to the bottom of the matter, to mean arrest him, he has no obligation. He has every protection in law.
Is that how he began?
I beg you.
Is that how he began?
I beg you. I beg you. I have laid my groundwork.
Yes, but I'm also asking you, is that how the issue began?
Listen, you see, you will let me break. I get that you have to moderate, but you have to let me land the point, and then you can take me on. I said the president issued an instruction. Cooperate with them to investigate the issue. Does that not mean go and arrest him? And to the extent that you are attempting to arrest him, he has no obligation. Indeed, he has protections in the law.
That's where my question comes in, Kofi.
So the question is what?
Did they get up looking for him to arrest him?
So let me explain why it's a yes. Number one, a man's house is his castle. The law says that if you feel a threat to your place of abode, your house, people come there and they are trying to get into it. You don't know what their intentions are.
Did you hear the NIB?
Come on, let me answer your question.
Is it the NIB or the NACOP board?
Your job is to moderate.
No,
when you tackle me, I will lose the point.
We'll deal with
if
facts.
I make the point, you can talk.
I'll hold you to the facts.
Hold me to it, but let me finish the point. Let me finish the answer.
They said, is it NACOP or NIB? Actually on Joy News platform. So I must not allow this to go without saying what they said. That he has put them to a point where they have no option than to arrest him. Does that sound like they began by looking to arrest him?
When people in masks, wielding guns, come to your house, they are not coming to have dinner. And if you are a man and you are in your house and people come there under those circumstances, the law says you can shoot in your defense and in the defense of your property. So, if somebody wants to invite you to be part of an investigation, they don't come armed and in masks and breach your house without your permission. I think if they wanted to do what the president said and have him come and cooperate with them in the investigation, the proper thing would have been to pick a phone and call him, call his member of parliament, call his leader, call somebody, do it in a very polite way, like
Again, you force me to interrupt.
I'm talking about what happened in his house.
Again, you force me to interrupt. Because the sequence by the information we have, it's not accurate.
The sequence is that
they reach out to him. They reach out through his member of parliament. And then they were now told that you have to go through speaker. So it is not that they got up and went seeking to arrest him. It took how many days before?
You are still not defeating my point. See, so if you reach out to his member of parliament, his leader of parliament, his speaker, and whatever it is, and you didn't get him, so you should go and arrest him, okay, you've decided that you are going to arrest him. Immediately you move to that point, you have crossed the cooperation line, and now you are seeking to arrest him. And this is why I say the public information is important. Our law says that if the state apparatus decides that you, Samson, or me, or anybody, has committed a crime for which he has to be arrested, the police have a right to arrest. And when they come to arrest you, let them arrest you and take you. You don't have to speak. You don't have to cooperate with them. If they arrest you, they can keep you for 48 hours. You don't have to say anything. So, if they simply wanted to arrest him, then they should go and effect an arrest. What they did was not that. Let me explain. The National Investigations System does not have a police force. They don't have an army, and the law does not allow them to have an army. They are supposed to use the existing security services and systems. Under IGP Dampare, every policeman will wear his name and his badge. He insisted on it. Before then, they used to take it off and that kind of thing. What I mean is there's a process for arrest. Please, you must come in your proper office. You are not an ordinary person, okay? And identify yourself. In fact, you can choose to do away with identifying yourself. But if you are requested, if the person asks you, who are you? You must say, I'm a policeman. What are you doing here? You must say, I'm coming to arrest you. And tell the person what charge you are arresting them under. You are required by law to do that. Now, if you do that, they are not obliged to say anything to you, to cooperate with you, or to help you in any way. The state and its systems have enough to array against you one person. They should determine what crime you have committed, what charge they are preferring against you, arrest you, and when they arrest you, even the statement that you sign in the police station, you are not supposed to sign it if you don't want to sign it. By law, you are not supposed to be forced to give any evidence whatsoever. And so they can keep you for 48 hours. You can choose to say nothing, and then when they take you to court, they have to prove that you have committed a crime. And let's be clear this. The unavailability of evidence, the fact that you don't have evidence today, there, right now, does not mean the evidence is non-existent. And there are times when a whistleblower or somebody in possession of critical evidence, necessarily as a matter of common sense, must hold it until a certain particular point. So, I made the point, and I need to clarify it, that the requirement that you are entitled to defend your property and defend yourself, including the use of firearms, does not mean that people should be shooting police people. So I agree with you when you say that even if they don't have a warrant, hear them. But let us make this clear that it is anomalous, it is not proper, it is not right for state security, whether police, army, NIB, or anyone, to attack anybody's house with masked armed men. If you do that and the person takes that decision, it's unfortunate, but he has defense within law.
The Emil Short Committee with Professor Henrietta Mensah-Bonsu and the former retired IGP, when they heard the Ayawaso West Wuogon matter, they instructed that the police that the national security keeps should be disbanded. We saw them at Ayawaso in these hoods.
Yes.
And so it means they've still not been disbanded. They are still there.
The point we need to make for public education, also to tell the politicians, they do it on both sides, is that national investigations don't have a police force. This attitude of recruiting nameless people, putting masks on them and having them go to attack people's house should stop. Because if you continue to do that, people will be forced to defend themselves. And I think Article 41 has been invoked. Let us be clear about this. Article 41 says that you have a responsibility to expose and combat. It does not include a responsibility to investigate crime. So, Intim Fojo was right to expose and combat me. I exposed and combated when I suspected that Timothy Forest was being sold. The fact that I didn't have evidence in my hand, in fact, what I had didn't constitute evidence, but it was very, very strong. Okay, does not mean the evidence did not exist. So, to the extent, let me finish. To the extent that you want Intim Fojo to be part of an investigation, it does not come from 41. That comes from one saying that, okay, the gentleman has some information which is useful. Okay. Then approach him in a certain way and let him be part of the investigation.
Yes, but
if you go, let me make my last point. If you go seeking to arrest him, you stop everything. Now, if the investigative authorities in this country, police, NIB, or whatever, do their work, it is for them to come and speak because the government is different from the state. Now, it is anomalous for the government spokesperson to come and speak to something that the investigative authorities are working on, because it is possible that somebody in government is in collusion. It is possible. Okay. So, I think going forward, we should let the investigative authorities do their work. Exactly. And let them do it properly within law. Let the politicians take their hands off and let us all work in a certain situation where we separate national interest from government interest and make sure that, look, when people or things like this are happening, you're not giving me time, I've said a couple of other things, but it is very, very dangerous. If somebody can land a plane in your country and let it stay here for a number of days and let it create this kind of confusion, because if they can do that, there's so much more they can do. And a lot of the details that have been, some of the pictures that were shown were fake pictures. And some of the facts on the ground do not bear out the information that the government spokesperson came to tell us. That's a serious matter. That
you said some of the pictures were fake.
Yes, some of the pictures were
How did you confirm that?
You check it on Google and it shows you the source of
You have checked?
Yes.
So can you show us how one of those pictures is fake? Now? Because you have done that.
I am saying to you.
It's serious. It's a serious claim you're making.
I am saying to you that some of the pictures that were put out. I don't know about somebody checked on Google and saw it's a picture of that aeroplane tire or something. Saw that picture had been pulled from somewhere.
You have confirmed that.
Oh, Samson.
Kofi, I've got to do this job.
Let me make the point.
Kofi.
Oh, let me make the point.
You have been speaking for over 10 minutes now. Hold on.
People spoke for 50 minutes.
No, don't worry.
If I made the point, you can question me.
But when you say, let me make the point, you don't finish. So can I come in? Because I have to come in at a point.
I don't know what you're questioning me on.
No, I'm questioning you on...
You are asking.
You say that some of the pictures shown by the government representing the airplane and the things that came with it are fake. I think you cannot say that and not show us your source or your basis for saying that.
I said many things. Now, I said for the government spokesperson to be the one speaking over an investigation that the state institution has done.
It's not completed.
Yeah, you see, that is where all these things has its problems. Let the state institution speak. Then I said some of the pictures that the government spokesperson supposedly put out, somebody checked on Google and came and said they saw that picture in a stock somewhere else. All right? So I'm saying when you create these kinds of situations, don't let the state institutions do those things. Then you are going to get this.
So you see, now you're explaining that somebody else... Wait, Kofi.
Okay.
I'm not stampeding you. I've got to do this job.
I hear you.
You are saying that somebody else checked one or some of the pictures and said and confirmed that it is fake. You yourself have not confirmed that for yourself.
No, I haven't.
Thank you. Because you see, when you made a statement, you didn't say somebody. You said some of the pictures are fake.
Okay. So,
right.
Look, I get it.
And you see, look, I'll let this pass, but it shouldn't pass.
Well.
Because once you have brought in fakery and you are referring to somebody, I should insist on you showing us this somebody, showing us how that somebody came by the fake, because we are all interested. If it is fake, we should take the government on, that they are misleading us.
Okay, so the central point I'm making is that when state institutions are doing investigations, we should appreciate that the state is different from government. Let the state institutions do the investigation, come to their conclusions, and come and tell us. But if the state institution does the work, and then it's for the government spokesperson to come and say it, you are going to have problems like what I'm citing now, okay, which you are holding me to. Look.
No, and Kofi,
anyway,
you can finish in the next 2 minutes. Unfortunately, because when I have to ask you a question, because you raise a controversial matter, you say I'm interjecting and I'm not helping you. So you finish in the next 2 minutes.
Then I also have my 2 minutes.
No. Look, you came for Galamsey. You don't even have time for Galamsey now. Look at the time. Yes, Kofi.
In the previous government, some MPs were arrested, and suggestions were being made that they were MPs and could not be arrested. I said, nobody is above the law.
Certainly.
An MP can be arrested. Ntim Fojo is not above the law. He can be arrested. So to that extent, I still maintain that position. However, the arrest has procedure. And if an MP is arrested, he should submit to the arrest. But he doesn't have to cooperate in any way. If you are going to arrest him, to use the proper procedure. I'm not saying that if people come to your house, you should shoot them. But if masked men approached your house and you didn't know what they were about, and you felt that you had to defend yourself and you had licensed firearms, you have a right in law to use it. I think we are messing this matter up. The state should be separate from government. we should all see where the national issues are concerning this thing. I think it's proper to politely ask Reverend Tim Fojo to cooperate with the state agencies.
So that's the point you have made. What's the procedure? What's the procedure for the arrest?
The procedure should be one. Tim Fojo has 3 levels of authority to say what you say as a citizen, as a member of parliament.
No, the procedure of arrest.
The procedure of arrest should be one. Invite him because he is not an ordinary citizen. He has a right to refuse. If he refuses, go to him and bodily hold him and tell him that on this particular charge, we are arresting you, and then take him into custody.
Okay.
But note that he does not have to write anything, he does not have to say anything after 48 hours.
Thank you. So that procedure, you are not sharing the view by some of the MPs that insist that it must at all costs go through the speaker.
Let me be clear on this. The process for arresting an MP, going to parliament, coming from parliament, or all those other things.
Attending at the business.
I think is restricted. It does not cover what a parliamentarian does 24 hours out of a day.
Where you are going.
So to that extent, no MP is above the law. No MP is immune from arrest.
Yes.
But there's a process for it, and let's follow the process.
All right.